Hey everyone. Hey Bunny Tamer. Hey Caleb. It is nearing 11 at night here, yeah. I'm usually up fairly late at night. Hey Zhao. I work nights and I was just cleaning my room a little bit ago. Did I remember to hit... Hey Zhao. Can you tell me if I remembered to actually update the information on Twitch? Because I can't actually remember. So I should probably open my own Twitch tab so that I've got... I literally just hit start streaming, man. Is it really quiet? I've got the audio levels up about as high as they'll go within OBS, and I could raise the volume of the microphone itself, but actually I'll move the microphone a little. I could raise the volume of the microphone itself, but that might screw me up for recording. Audacity seems to take my microphone's levels much better than OBS does. That's weird. Yeah, I guess I'll bump my microphone volume up. Just need to get to the menu that it is in. Oh, hey TC. I'm currently booting Minecraft up, so... There we go. Oh, hold on a moment. And I'm back. Yeah, I don't know what if my audio is lower for you now than it was for you the other day. That is something on your end, because I have not touched any settings. I might be in a little bit of a different position away from the microphone, but I have not touched any settings. Either way. Ooh, I'm getting some frame drops here. Probably because I have two browsers open. Why do I have two browsers open? I have too much stuff open. So, just let me close out things. That should be better. Bunny Tamer, I don't need the updates on who's watching. It really doesn't matter. Sensitivity troubles might be because I just cleaned my room today, and I think a bunch of dusty stuff got set on my mouse pad, so it's screwing with my mouse. There we go. That should help. At the very least on the sensitivity end of things. Actually, I've still got too much stuff open. What else can I kill? Tabs. There we go. That's much better. Okay, so let's see, where did I leave off? I was going to be making steel because I need to make a steel forge, which is expensive as fuck. Right. So I need to move this over. I guess let's put this right here. Put all of that iron. Because I need a fuck ton more iron. There's some more ore. I think I need a few more stacks of actual iron. Did I set all of it? I set, I think, all of it over there. Cool. So I spent most of today working on cleaning my room up, because my room is a horrible, hellish mess. Or it was. It's a descriptor I really like, isn't it? But yeah, my room was a horrible mess, and it's finally... Oh, I have this set in the wrong direction. My room is a horrible mess. Oh, and this is set in the wrong way too. Great. Bunny Tamer, stop. Seriously. I'm not kidding. You don't need to keep... going on about this stuff. Hey, PillowX. Things are going all right. Having taking a bit of time to hang out in stream, play a bit of Minecraft again. I was working on cleaning my room earlier because it was a horrible mess, and now it is... I can actually see the floor again. And I can actually walk around. I'm thinking of doing some reorganizing in my room, and I'm probably going to move a... I'm probably going to set up a, what is it called? I'm probably going to set up a small cubicle in part of my room, because there's a bunch of office buildings around here that have been closing recently. So I'm thinking about getting some of the cubicle walls that they're getting rid of, and using those to build a sort of oh shit, I just saw how much experience I have. That's not good. What is it called? The Minotaur I found was actually apparently one with... It was an albino Minotaur, meaning it has higher health, but... or higher health and armor. So it's a really good thing that it didn't spawn with a weapon, or I would not have been able to kill it before it killed me. I'm not going to become a full-time YouTuber, Bunny Tamer. Dude. Oh, what do I need? Right, I need coke. That is pure carbon, not the drug. Get that by... I did think about going full-time on my YouTube stuff for a little while, because I make a semi-reasonable amount via ad revenue, but it would be a lot more effort than I can really spare while I'm in college to make enough content to actually do anything. Does it need to be one at a time? Or is this broken? I have the manual open, right? Yeah, I get ad revenue on my YouTube stuff. I have ads running. But I have... Yeah, it was 1,000 subs, and I set it up before they started doing the new rules. I'm actually nearing 10,000. I've got just around 9K right now, which is kind of baffling to me. Minotaurs are actually really common as you go on. I've frequently wound up having to fight 2 or 3 at a time. What I'm really scared about right now is that I just saw I have nearly 35 experience. And I looked into the monsters in this mod, and the Skeletal Knight shows up if you have 35 or more experience because you are clearly hoarding experience. So I might be a little bit fucked. I'm currently trying to check through the... Let's see. Iron and 3 carbon. it are the... You can get 2 coke for free coal. Iron furnace are better. Okay. That's annoying. At least it's not a total waste because I can just do this. This is how I make it, correct? Steel is... Oh. I think... Granite Crucible... Need to use coal instead. Yeah, because it doesn't register coal powder for whatever reason. That's annoying. So I guess I'll need to go coal mining. Hey, Cloaker. Yeah, my channel used to be a shitty... a really shitty little Let's Play channel, and it was just a lot of really stupid, pointless content. Then I started doing stories, and things kind of exploded. Yes, okay. This is absolutely worth it. Hey, Creepy Man. The mods I'm using are Mine Fantasy, which is the primary mod. Then Flintlock Weapons. I should toss this away. Flintlock Weapons, Battle Towers, Airships. I have so many things. Yeah, I have a Discord. It should be in the channel's About page. It is in the channel's About page and in the description of every video I post. So, it's not... And I made a whole announcement video about it, so it's not like it's a secret or anything. I left the bronze pick. I should go get that and use it till it breaks. But yeah, if I get that little cubicle recording booth set up, I'll be able to record some much better audio because I'll have much better acoustics, or so my hope goes. And I mean, that'd be nice. Yeah, that is... I think that's what a few people use the Discord for. I also quite like the Discord. It tends to be rather quiet, and I can actually kind of hang out and talk with people. And just actual conversations happen, instead of a horrible mess of people all trying to talk over each other for attention. So I like it. I'm happy with how it's turned out. Either way. So I think right now, I guess I need to focus on getting a lot more iron and some steel. The first time playing Minecraft, I played the shit out of the demo version because, well, I played the shit out of the demo version, and then eventually I used something called the Mineshafter proxy, which was this proxy that someone had made that would kind of fool, it was kind of a crack that would fool the game into thinking that you had an account or a full account and let you play, and if you found a cracked server, you could play on that no problem. So my friends who had legitimate copies and I would go around finding cracked servers to hang out and play in. Because I was like 12 or 13 at the time. And I didn't get into mods until after I'd actually been gifted a copy of the game for Christmas, I think it was. And then I got really into mods. And never really looked back. Yeah, lives get in the way. That's it. What's the saying? Life is what happens while you're busy making other plans? Either way. Yeah, I used to explicitly try and find seeds for islands because I thought there was something really cool about living on a little deserted island kind of thing, just off in the desert, or not off in the desert, off in the ocean. That is the exact opposite of a desert. I've tried the Technic launcher. I'm not super into the mod packs they use. Because I like the more technical stuff. Like in this mod, how progression is much more involved. That being said, I'm not really big on most of the technology mods. They just don't really grab my interest. It did introduce me to Tinker's Construct, which I used for a little bit, and then I found Mind Fantasy and thought, oh, this is more fun. And more in-depth. And just more interesting in general. I think I'll switch to this. And I think my axe is about to break. Yeah, actually, I found out one of the other people who used to be really active on the Minecraft forums around the time I was, and also hung out in the Mind Fantasy community, which was really just the Mind Fantasy thread that a little community cropped up in, because there was kind of a very specific kind of person who liked this mod. But one of them actually made a Technic mod pack that was built largely to cater to the Mind Fantasy kind of setup. So it was built as sort of a fantasy mod, or fantasy mod pack, with Mind Fantasy and Thaumcraft and I think Ars Magica and all the Growthcraft stuff, airships. I think the only thing that it uses a couple of mods that I'm not super into, like the Magica, like Ars Magica and Thaumcraft, and it doesn't use flintlock guns, which I use because I really like that one. I find it to be a ton of fun, and I'm probably going to make a gun once I have dedicated enough iron production towards steel. I actually feel like the balances of these two mods work really well together. So I'm going to be going around with a muzzle loader, and I might make a pike. So I'm gonna be running around as a Renaissance era soldier, essentially, which is going to be fun. Roll20 is a really excellent. Well, I say really excellent. I kind of don't like it very much anymore. It is a useful free tool for running RPG campaigns online. I am personally hoping to switch over to GM Forge once it has a little more work on it, and I've gotten around to buying myself a license for it. Because GM Forge, instead of a subscription to use all of its nice features like Roll20, where the base version is kind of meh, and the subscription is okay, I guess. GM Forge is just a pay once and you're good kinda thing, or pay once and you're fine kinda production, or pay once and you have it kind of production, and is much more powerful than Roll20. It has things like setting up, it can automate traps. So if you're letting your players wander around the map and place their tokens on different squares to show their character's movement, it'll trip traps on the tiles that they step on if they're not looking out, which I really like as a thing, since I'm the kind of GM who makes a lot of big dungeons and mazes, and I really like being able to set up traps like that. It's a really cool and useful thing. GM Forge, Game Master's Forge, rather than Dungeon Master's Forge. It has a subreddit where all of the which is being used kind of like a dev blog. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at it specifically in a little while, so I'm not entirely up to speed on all of its features, but I would definitely recommend looking into it if you run a lot of your campaigns online, because it has a lower learning curve than Map Tool, and is also just generally set up better than Map Tool, and is just more powerful at doing what it does than Roll20. It's still in development, but it is functional. It's available for purchase on its own website and on Steam. And I think it's got two kinds of licenses. One is like 10 or 15 bucks, and you're good for like making your own campaign and people joining it. And one that I want to say is like 30 bucks, but you can have up to but if you buy the $30 one, you have a license that extends to your entire gaming group. So 5 different people have access to making and running campaigns with that license, which is a really cool thing. Man, this is music that I haven't heard in a while. It hasn't exactly been a hard day, C-Dace. It's been a kind of longish day. I was hanging out with PJ, Steve, and TC earlier. We were watching the Full Metal Alchemist movie, which... the live-action one that just came out. It was bad. It wasn't funny bad either. It was just boring and dragged on forever. And I got home and started cleaning my horrible mess of a room. It actually looks like a bedroom now. I can see the floor and walk around without having to step over things. My bed isn't covered in stuff. I'll just make a few torches. Ooh. Got a clear way down. Whoops. But yeah, largely been working on getting my room clean today. Oh god, yeah, Gluttony was hilarious. There is just a scene in that awful movie of Gluttony waddling after a group of people really fast and really hard to escape from when he's getting ready to eat people. In the movie, he was just waddling awkwardly after people, and it was hilarious. And then let's see. They only showed 3 of the homunculi. They showed Lust, Envy, and Gluttony. Wrath, Sloth, and Greed. Wrath, Sloth, Greed, and Pride make no appearance. Meaning, Führer President King Bradley never shows up. Nobody died by gluttony. No, one person died by gluttony in the movie. The movie opens at the the movie opens, of course, doing their origin story, which was meh and rushed. And then they went right to the start of, or right to the end of the Lior arc. They skipped the entire Lior arc and just did the end where they're trying to capture the priest. And it was really bad. They made Shao Tucker the main villain? And then he wasn't the main villain? Yeah, it's a live action Netflix version of FMA, which was released earlier this year, late last year. It is I would say it's as bad as Death Note for the exact opposite reason. Death Note didn't try at all to really follow the series it was based on. And as a result, it was bad, but it kind of tried to do its own thing. The FMA movie tried to follow everything while also condensing it and redoing the plot to fit. And it made it horrible for the exact opposite reason. Scar doesn't show up at all. Like, we were all joking that at the very end, Scar and Greed were going to show up and just screw everything up. Or they were going to be used as a sequel hook or something. But no, never mentioned. Major Armstrong never shows up. None of Mustang's crew show up except for Hawkeye, but Hawkeye doesn't do anything. She just stands there. She has, I think, 3 lines in the entire movie. And that's not an exaggeration. We were about an hour into the movie when Hawkeye finally said something, and we all looked to each other and were like, holy shit, she's finally talked. Yeah, there is a scene towards the end where they are in what is basically supposed to be the 5th laboratory, and they're coming out to do a fight with Lust and Envy, who they kill at the same time, and then just forget about Gluttony. They show him walking off to kill a bunch of the zombie things that show up at the very end of the series, which are used here. And he just walks off to go eat them all, and then just stops showing up. He's just not in the movie after that. They don't say they don't say if anyone killed him, so he's just around, I guess. The special effects annoyed me. They weren't very good. Yeah, it was just a bad movie. It was just a really bad movie. But they still vaguely tried to follow the plot, and it felt like Netflix had heard the criticisms of the Death Note movie and tried to fix them in the worst way they could. And tried to fix them without actually understanding why they were issues. So it just made for a bad movie. Anime movies can be good. Anime live-action movies are just bad. They're just really bad. Okay, it's just you. Hey, Hagnar. Sorry, man. I think the reason that gluttony is always represented as a cannibal, or someone who or just someone who eats humans at the very least, is because they just want to eat everything. And it doesn't matter that the thing is a human. Like with gluttony, it was always him asking Lust if he could go eat someone, which was more like which was more like he just wanted to eat everything, and the only reason he didn't was because Lust was stopping him, so he had to ask permission. So that's why the "can I eat him" thing became so, you know. Was such a thing in that series. Gluttony freaked me the hell out when I was a kid. Yeah, Gluttony ate whatever he could. I'll do another Mountain Blade soon at some point, man. Oh, are they making another new Doom? I'm already excited because Doom 2016 was amazing. I still need to beat it, but it was just a ton of fun. I'm so glad that I played it. It was just a damn good game. It did everything it needed to do to be a solid Doom game. And that's more than you can say for Doom 3, which isn't a bad game. It's just not what anyone expected when they heard there was a new Doom game coming out. And it's why I thought it was a horror series for ages. Yeah, Gluttony was just overall disturbing, and it was kind of great. Yeah. Doom kind of like, I want to say that I'm maybe 3/4 of the way through. I keep expecting to be near the end and finding out I'm not. But then again, I don't think, that's one of those games that you just always kind of want to play more of it. And the only reason I haven't is because my computer has trouble running it. Gluttony and Kirby meeting and fighting each other would be kind of hilarious. Ah, there's just too many of the... There's too much everything. I'm gonna need to go up to the roof soon. Where are all of these things coming from? Oh, is there a skeletal knight around? Because that could actually explain it. They summon all of the monsters in the area to fight you. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. Because if I don't, I'm gonna get myself killed. Way out, way out. There's one around here. It exists. I have played a little bit of Red Faction. I got the original on PlayStation 2, played through a chunk of the first mission, and then stopped because I got stuck. A door closed before I could get to it, and I didn't have enough explosives to dig my way underneath the door. Oh, there's my way out. Where is it? Ah, here it is. Who the fuck thinks that only copper can conduct electricity? That's fucking stupid. That is immensely fucking stupid, and I want to hit that person. And then I want to hit the person who taught that person that. You use experience by either dying or enchanting things. I can't enchant, and I'd prefer not to die. That's a skeletal knight. I'm barricading myself in my house. I'm going to dig myself further down so that I can wait until day. Let's see if this works. Damn it. Further. Whoops. Here. Yes. I'll just wait a minute for everything to burn. My castle is up on the hill, and I can't really use it yet, because I still need to finish building it. Oh, fuck off. Oh, fuck off. Well, on the bright side, it's more of a house now. It's not 1 o'clock. It's not even close to 1 o'clock. Let's see if that fucker is still alive. Oh shit, fuck. No, he's dead. He must have burned up in the sun. Huh? Why don't I move? Why don't I move to the castle? Because it's not done yet. It's up there. I'm going to move to the castle when it's ready for me to move to it. I mean, largely, I want a staircase. 847 plus... 847 plus 3 equals 11. What? How did that kill me? On the bright side, I lost all my experience and I won't be getting another skeletal night in. I think that blew up some of my... I think that blew up my pants. Nope. Here it is. I think I did lose some stuff though, because I thought I had more on me than this. Nothing else under here. Oh, some stuff over here though. How far did my bits get blown? Still got all the important stuff. It's 11:49 here. Yeah, and adding 3 hours is 11, not 1. Oh yeah, I did hear there's a Slender Man movie coming out. I have no interest in that. It looks kind of shit. My name is Zach. It's not like it's a secret or anything. Did I just do what I think I did? Oh. That was close. Oh, here it is. How did I not even see that? No CCleaner. Go away with your notifications. Guess I need to go. It's spelled Z-A-C-H, not Z-A-C-C. I live in Pennsylvania, as I've mentioned a few times. That looks a little better. Can tolerate this. kind of wish that you would stop. I kind of don't really like people speculating that much about where I am. It makes me mildly uncomfortable. Just mildly. What do I need? Flux. Do I have any more? Got some. Oh, good. Yeah, I used to be in a class back in middle school where I was one of 4 Zachs in the room. There might be too many of us. What am I kidding? Who am I kidding? There are too many of us. We need to have a Highlander style purge of all of the Zachs, because there can be only one. Zhao, your name isn't actually Zach, it's Will. I mean, technically it's Zach, but your name is actually Will. So you can avoid the... It's your middle name, so you can avoid the coming Highlander fights just by going by your first name instead. I mean, on the one hand, I could do that because... Ah, damn it. If I could convince my friend Steve to actually change his name to Steve, I would get a Highlander-style fight between him and my Uncle Steve, who... Let's just say that would be a fun fight to watch for me. Zhao, that is the tower. That is going to be the keep of my castle when I start working on it. I need to make a new weapon soon. May as well make it now. Eat it up and ready to be used. Which means I need to move it to the other anvil. Fuck. I'll do it in the morning. I mean, most of my user base, or most of my viewer base, is on YouTube, so it's not that surprising that there's not many people on Twitch. That being said, Twitch usually works better for some, or Twitch sometimes works better for some people, so I dual stream in case people have problems with one platform or another. here it is. Oh. Let's see, I don't think I have to heat the nuggets. Probably could have done that a little more efficiently. Yeah, I'm actually quite surprised by how well YouTube streaming usually tends to work for me. I never really have problems with it. Usually my stream problems are on my own end and not on my platform's end. Yeah, 1.6.4 custom pack that I used to use a lot, that I may be updating a little. I found some similar stuff. I found a later version of Mind Fantasy that fixed the Battle Gear 2 crashes, so I might switch to that. Just to double, I'll back up my save just to double check in case of compatibility issues. Just in case I break something. Yeah, that is, let me see, is that on my end? Not on my end for once. According to OBS. I may try lowering my encoding settings because I might be trying to stream at too high a bitrate. Let's see. Did I drop the rest of my flux in a chest? More frames are always better. And I wish I could give people more friends. I'm not saying that. See you later, Caleb. I should probably... How do I make a hopper again? Five iron in a chest. I can do that. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, it is connected with that. Actually, no. I'll just move this to the side. Oh, blah. Okay. I think I put my dry rocks away. Yep. And yeah. Logistics are easy. Communication is hard. It's an interesting line. Why not make flint and steel? Because every piece of steel at the moment takes 3 pieces of iron to make. Better armor when? Better armor when I have a steady supply of steel, which is what I'm working towards right now. I'm currently heating my steel up, or I'm currently working on heating all of this up. Why isn't this heating? The temperature isn't rising. Okay, where is my sand? Why is the temperature not rising here? I don't know of a way to automate this process. If there was, I would definitely do it. This is already semi-automated. I just need to... I wish you could redstone bellows, but you can't. Let's try grabbing some regular coal, dropping it in, and put my dry rocks away again. What brine pools? What are you on about? Now it's working. Cool. For the moment, this whole base is meant to be very temporary. So I'm kind of working on just getting everything set. Do I need to power a hopper? Realize that I don't actually know. And I can't even use it. Nice. I know I can feed things into the hopper, but I can't put hot ingots into it. Dealing with roommates can be hard, but my advice, mostly advice I've gleaned from others, is keep to yourself and don't be an asshole. And if they're being an asshole, let them know, because they might not realize it. Nobody really wants to be an asshole. Very few people go out of their way to be assholes to others. So, if someone knows that what they're doing is being really annoying, they will generally try to hold off on a behavior. Hey, Nomad. What is this? Why are we talking about eel migration? The eel migration is an unsolved mystery? Huh. I've never had eel. I have no interest in eating eel. I don't like seafood. It could just be its natural habitat. It's almost always just, these are the conditions that are best for a creature's eggs. Briny depths. Briny depths. Well, if conditions are similar enough and a few eels wind up upriver somehow, then it's not unreasonable for them to wind up attracted to this new, much less dangerous, much closer area to begin laying their eggs. Animals kind of tend to enjoy convenience and things that don't get their young killed. They're all dying suddenly? That part I missed. Who knows? Much like bees are dying off, and that's scary. I'm going to need more coal. How am I out already? At least I've got all this slag. It's about 12:13 here now. I might go to bed soonish. I hate this stuff. Slag is just debris, and sometimes it has charcoal or flux in it, and I'm low on coal, so I'm just going to try and use it for some free charcoal. And I'm not doing any more of that because it's boring as all hell. And I got a reasonable amount of charcoal from it. What's my opinion on 5th edition? Yeah. Oh, and yeah, there's Minecraft porn. It's out there. It's out there for some reason. Yeah, no, it exists. Don't ask me why, because that's a mystery I do not know the answer to. Sun's starting to set, so I guess I'll be running back into my hidey hole soon. Yeah, I don't like 5e personally. It's too simplified for me. Yeah, Minecraft porn, some of it is an actual thing. There are Monster Girl versions of most of the mobs, which I believe were originally made for that Minecraft dating sim mod, which exists and is actually kind of interesting. Like, no joke interesting. And then someone made kind of a joke porn video that was just the 2 default Minecraft skins. It was like right after the announcement. What's interesting from a this exists perspective? I would like that to be clear. Two more blocks of steel, and then 8 pieces, and I can make my... Damn it, I'm forgetting words. I can make the steel furnace, and we'll streamline the process of making steel. Alright, I am going to go grab more coal, I guess. Well, yeah, as far as favorite class goes, Cavalier. I get to be a badass with a special mount. Or I get to be a badass knight with a special mount without going paladin. And there's just a lot of variation within Cavalier builds because of the orders and how they have all of that specialization. We're talking about Rule 34 Minecraft stuff because why the fuck does that exist? Hey Ryan. A story. Let me see if I've got one of my own to tell. Might need to think for a moment, but I'm reasonably certain I can think of something. What's something that has an actually interesting ending? Because I've got lots of things that are interesting but have no ending to them. Which is kind of the issue with a lot of my personal stories, and why I don't tell many of my own. I think clearly, the best 3.5 class is the Muscle Wizard. The Muscle Wizard is the best thing ever. I don't play a Paladin for Elemental, hence I play a Cavalier because I get to be a badass knight without being a Paladin. I get to run around with a horse that counts as a ranger's animal companion. Heavy armor, lancing fucking everything. Yeah, the Muscle Wizard is just the most broken thing to ever grace Dungeons and Dragons. They are the equivalent of a D&D tactical nuke. Because they can essentially have infinite amounts of strength score and use strength as their primary casting modifier as well. So A, they get to run around with a weapon with a strength bonus measured in the hundreds. And B, they get to use that strength bonus measured in the hundreds to make spellcasting checks. Measured in hundreds or measured in thousands. And yes, it is... So, I would like to remind you that any broken strategy can easily be quashed by a GM who knows what's up. If the GM knows what he's doing and sees you pulling shit, he will end it, He will, in general, end the shit that you're pulling. Muscle Wizard just happened... Like, and yes, the argument that Muscle Wizard would just easily be... Well, the thing about that is... that in the rules of 3.5 it actually specifies that this kind of stuff can be had for as long as the player likes before the campaign starts. The ranger, the druid, the wizard, they can have casted as many spells as they like before the campaign started. So they can have given themselves this disease years beforehand because the rules say it's okay. The rules explicitly state that this is okay. And like, yes, a GM can still say no, because that's the GM's job, to keep a limit on things like this. And if left unchecked, that can be kind of a campaign killer. Although it can also be just a complete novelty. It'd make an interesting villain. But... Oh, no. The reason they're not dead in a few days, Zao, is because it relies on the Cancer Mage archetype, which is an official first-party Wizards of the Coast archetype. That means they suffer no negative consequences from the disease. That's why this disease, or that's why this class or that's why this horrible class works. It says explicitly, no, you suffer absolutely no negative effects from these diseases. If you have Festering Anger before you become a Cancer Mage, because Cancer Mage can be taken at first level. I believe. It can be taken at first level, or your campaign, as many do, may start at a higher level. I know a lot of DMs like to start their campaigns at 5th or at 5th level instead, because there's kind of tiers, and where people are leveled kind of affects what's unlocked for them. But either way, this archetype does still work. And it is still absolutely horrifying, and I love it. We don't talk about the Shad Mage 4 Elemental. Because it's a We don't talk about it because it is a terrible idea. It is the definition of a bad plan. You can Google it if you want. Don't Google it, though. Oh, jeez. Why do I keep doing that? That's another bad plan. Yeah, I don't know if I told this story on stream. A couple of weeks ago, I ended my GM's boss encounter in Godbound on the second round, and I could have done it on the first round if I'd remembered that I had this power. So this Godbound campaign's been going on for a little while, and we've, you know, been chugging through. It's been fun. Except recently, Roll20 deleted all of the old Godbound sheets without telling anyone for new ones. And the new ones are much nicer. The old ones were really badly made. So I'm happy that these new ones exist and are nicer. I just wish I'd been able to back up my stats. The bright side of this is that we got to remake our characters at level 5, which is where we were. And I got to change around some of my skill set a little bit. So I swapped out something that I don't remember for the ability Transmuter. Now what Transmuter does is it allows you to turn a 10-foot by 10-foot by 10-foot cube of any physical material into any other physical material. That's just the setup for this. So, I was running a tournament. Our Godbound is a game where we're all playing demigods who are trying to build up our cults and make our impact upon the world. And I was holding a tournament for some of my followers for a sort of to kind of begin the creation of a group of holy knights for myself. Now I'm playing a god of the forge who is from Fantasy Ukraine. And what wound up happening was, as this tournament was drawing to a close, there was a burst of fire. And the town hall down the street from our tournament grounds is leveled in a single blow. And from this explosion rises a creature. Oh, I'm gonna die. Rises a creature, a conflagration, meaning a beast, a creature of pure flame. Oh, fuck you! That thing should not have been able to kill me from there. A beast of pure flame arises. And I also have the word fire, because I'm a god of the forge, so I've got words of fire, might, and artifice. And I've also been kind of adding that I'm working as the uniter of my homeland, so I added the word of leadership, which is a homebrew word that one of the other players made. And so I've rushed in, and I hit it once with my forge hammer, And, okay, fair enough. I've hit it with my forge hammer. That does minimal amounts of damage. And so, okay, this thing is still going. Other player takes his turn, and I realize something. And we get some hints that this thing is weak to water, which, you know, it's a conflagration. It's made of flame. Probably going to be weak to water. And so, one of my, and so I take a moment. I am looking through my words to see if there's anything I can do to damage this thing. And I take a look back at the word transmuter, which I had just taken, and I notice the terminology. Any physical material into any other physical material. So I say to the GM, air is not physical. Air is a gas, so it's not really physical. Ground, and the question I ask is, are we considering water a physical material? And we take a moment to kind of think over that, like, yeah, I guess it is. I guess it really is. And the result of that was, okay, I guess I'll transmute the ground underneath this thing into water. And so I do this. And at first I'm thinking, okay, the system has rules for damage dealt through using transmuter. It's like a, I think 1d6 for every 2 levels or something like that. And I say, okay, so should I roll 2d6 damage for this? And he's like, no. I don't hear back for a moment. And then the next I hear is, there is special rules for a conflagration taking damage from water. They take damage by the gallon. So that is a 50-foot by 50-foot by 50-foot cube, because it's 10 foot per level, and I'm level 5. So that is a 50-foot cube of water. Another moment. He calculates the amount of water that this is. 374 damage. 1d8 of damage for every gallon. I got to roll 374 d8s worth of damage against this creature. And of course I actually rolled it. Sploosh. Now, I have a screenshot, and there is a damage chart for how Godbound handles damage, which is a little different. Rather than reading damage straight, it uses a system where a certain roll on the die corresponds with a certain amount of damage, and it's usually like, I think, between 0 and 5 damage. So a 1 is no damage, whereas a 10 or above is 4 or 5. So 1s count for no damage. So if I had rolled enough 1s, it would have survived. But if I rolled more than 22 of anything higher than a 1, it would have died. I rolled more than 22 not ones. According to the GM, the amount of 8s alone would have killed this thing. On D8s, so the amount of max damage rolls alone would have killed this thing. I have a history of breaking this system. I broke grappling because we wanted some kind of grappling rule set, but there kind of wasn't one. So what happened was it was on PC. We're playing this game through Roll20. I wish I had had a bucket of D8s to roll. Because that would have been amazing. But it was still this block of dice results in the Roll20 chat. And it was beautiful. And we have decided to keep the pool in the middle of town now. It now counts as a faction feature for our faction. It deals morale damage to firecasters. The creature I killed was a faction feature, which is a special feature of the faction it belongs to. But yeah, there's not really grappling rules. There, like, it doesn't disallow them, but there's not really rules. We'd initially decided, oh, let's just do opposed strength checks, because opposed strength checks are a thing, so it's kind of up to GM discretion. Here's the thing. I have a word called might, which already raises my strength up to above the maximum strength. I took an ability called Stronger Than You, meaning no matter what, as long as my opponent doesn't also have this word, my strength checks don't need a roll, I win. So for the few times that grappling has showed up, and I've gotten to use it, I have just been this unbeatable, angry Slavic blacksmith, grappling people to the ground and completely immobilizing them. I am made of area control. Given that I can transmute the ground and control where people stand. The system is called Godbound. There is a free version on DriveThruRPG. It's quite well made for a free RPG in a theme that doesn't really see enough focus from, or that I don't really feel receives enough focus, if I'm quite honest. And it is just a ton of fun. It's definitely worth playing if you have a GM who's interested in running it. It is very sandboxy, so it is one of those things that might not be for everyone. Yeah, usually grappling is done either via opposed strength rolls or via the Hellish Pathfinder grappling system, which is based on the Hellish D&D grappling system, which is at least not as bad as the Hellish GURPS grappling system. But that's GURPS, so all of the systems are Hellish. any more steel ingots? I thought I had more steel. I must have lost it. That's a shame. But yeah, it really comes with my recommendation, and that was a whole bunch of fun. Both to see happen and to pull off. It was just amazing. And we have a really good DM. He may do a write-up of that at some point, and if he does, I'm definitely doing a reading of it for the channel, because that was just such an insane moment. Yeah, Godbound does a good job of doing what it sets out to do. And it doesn't try to do too much more. But, yeah, making that happen was amazing. And I need one more block of steel, and then enough steel for one of these, and enough steel for an anvil. So the anvil is 5 steel and a 5 steel and a stone, so that's not too hard to get. I've got plenty more iron. I have never personally played the D6 Star Wars RPG, but I am familiar with it. Sith Janitor being one of my main introductions to it. Hey Max, I'm doing alright. How about you? Kind of thinking of going to bed soon, but I'm not entirely sure. Probably make a new set of tongs real quick. And those will last me a lot longer than what I'm using now. Alright, now it's nearing 1 in the morning, so I'm probably gonna go off and sleep soon. Or I'm gonna do my trademark, say I'm gonna go off and sleep, when instead I mean I'm going to stay up for ages. Because I'm an idiot who doesn't sleep. Hopping under the water pit might not be a bad idea. Or hopper under this. That's probably something that I'll do when I get set up in my actual base. Because that... So this will get me 5 steel. Which will get me the anvil. And then I'll need 8 more for the furnace. Well, I think I'm going to build all of the things that I need for this, and then just start going up towards the... Oh, I forgot to put more of this in here. And then start going up towards the, up towards my new... Up towards my new castle with all of this stuff. I have not read any of Felix La Volpe. I'll take a look. It's not a name that I've heard. I really wish I could get away with playing some copyrighted music on Twitch and YouTube streams, because I really kind of want to kick back and play music and hang out with people, but I kind of can't, because that's kind of a no-no. The only time it's too early to automate if you're going to have to move your automations around too much. And I'm going to have to move everything that I've moved, or everything that I've built around here, up on top of a mountain. So I need to build stairs, shit like that. I might do a minecart ferry at some point. I can use public domain music, but generally I want to play music that I listen to on a regular basis. Which is largely not public domain. I might be able to get away with playing some Red Vox, because I think I vaguely remember Vinny saying something about him being cool with people using his music in streams. Hey Arrow, this is a custom mod pack of mine from a very long time ago that I realized was still installed on my computer. And I started playing it again, and then I started streaming it again. The main mod I use is Mine Fantasy, which gives me all of these anvils and metals and things like that. I also have flintlock weapons installed because I wanted guns, but I wanted them balanced and fitting with my theme. And I have Growthcraft to enhance the crops. And I have airships, which I haven't really been using, but I have it. I think one more. Ooh, I should probably take that all out of there. Because yeah, I guess I'll make one more, because I made too much already. Too much to be efficient. A one-on-one campaign inspired by Shadow of the Colossus. That sounds interesting. Generally, try and focus on making the journey up these colossi kind of interesting. Because, like, one of the hardest... Making stuff like that interesting can be really hard to do. I may as well heat the rest because I have coal going. I've been hearing of Terra Firma Craft. I might give it a try at some point, because it sounds interesting. I've heard it generally takes longer than this one, and this one I've been on trying to get to steel for quite some time now. It is not easy to get to. I think there are crossbows in this mod too, and I might work on making one of those. I remember that being the reason that I stopped using Crossbow Mod 2, which is a really good mod, by the way. What's the goal before move to the mountain? Make a steel forge so that I can set up right up there, and then I'll just be able to make steel. I will just have a consistent steel making process. Or not a steel forge, a steel furnace. I've never understood pause buttons on headphones. This up one. Oven and believe that it's forge. I have extra forges. Why am I doing it like this? And this. I've got 2 spare granite. Nice. Because I believe this is the tier where I start needing to use granite. Yep. Pathfinder 2nd Edition is going to be interesting at the very least. Some people are really excited for it, some people really aren't. Because some people, I've heard a few people say that it seems a little bit too 5th edition-y for them, which, kind of fair. Some of it looks interesting. I really like current Pathfinder. I think Pathfinder is really annoying if you have rules lawyers or people who really, really want to stick to all the rules. If you have a group that legitimately just wants to get together and have fun playing a game, Pathfinder's amazing. It's a great system to run. But the moment you have people who are interested in really getting into the mechanics, it kind of stops being fun. I mean, it might be fun for them. If you have a group of people who all really like getting into the mechanics, that can be fun. The problems arise when you have 1 or 2 people who are really into mechanics, and the rest of the group not so much. So you have one person who is just completely outclassing the rest of the group. And and is just able to completely break every single encounter. Oh no, I need 1 more block of steel. I've got... Damn it, I've got 3, so I need 3 more. Damn it, I thought I was done. Okay, 1 more block of steel and I'll be okay. Wait, that won't be 6, that'll be 2. It's 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm almost there. I'm just gonna leave that. I don't think I need more regular iron. I'll get some sleep eventually. Probably. That'll be another 3. Got 2 here. I'm almost done. Once I have a steel furnace and walk up to my castle and build and set it down, then I'll call it a night because I'm almost there. And I will have achieved a goal tonight. I just want to get one thing done. another 3. I've got 3. So I'll need 3 more. I'll need another 9 in the forge. No, we'll need another 7 in the forge because I've got 1 over there. Yeah, actually having your players roleplay is a really good thing. That being said, role-playing shopping is obnoxious. Because there's nothing interesting that happens during shopping. If they're looking for something oddly specific, maybe. But there tends to just not be anything really interesting about the party goes shopping and just starts making diplomacy rolls for the costs of items. That's really uninteresting, and nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to be stuck on that. I think I'm nearing the end for tonight. I just need a couple more pieces of iron too. Oh yeah, I only really need 1 more to heat up. I'm really almost done for the night. I'm almost done to the Steel Age. Well, then I'll have to make glue, but still. Close enough. You can make a really interesting trader, but honestly, the better thing to do is just go, okay, give me lists of things you want to buy. It's like, give me a list of things you want to buy. Work it out in between sessions. I'll work out how much it's going to cost you. That's the best way to do it. That's basically how Dark Heresy does it, by using requisition rolls, which are generally a good idea. Just do a roll to requisition the goods that you want. I made too much again. Oh well. Keep making too much steel in this manner. I haven't actually had the opportunity to play Only War, but overall, I think it's a good idea. I think it's just a much better idea than a straight, I think it's just much better than money. Money doesn't really work in tabletop games. Like, because it's really hard to have an economy mean something the way tabletops are set up. So it's much better to just not use money. Alright, and I've got all the stuff I need to set this up. Now I have a bunch of spare bronze and a worthless furnace. I have not really been keeping up with TFS at the table. I'm not even sure what that is, actually. I don't keep up with much news. I go looking for systems when there's a thing that I want to run. And that is really about it. Yeah, actually, I like the way Godbound does it. You are, as a demigod, you are assumed to have enough money to cover daily expenses. You don't need to worry about food costs, or rations, or travel costs. Major things may require wealth, but minor things won't. You also, as a result, I think I'll build this over here. There is the word of wealth, which if you're making a god of trade can be very useful. Here's the thing about it. You can use some of the things there, and you can also do this with Transmuter. You can do things there to make gold and such. Here's the thing about it. If you do it, it will break the economy, and it encourages the GM to fuck you for it. Either way, I now have my steel furnace. This is the thing I've been trying to make for ages now. It's here. I'm set. I think I'm done. Oh, Team 4-star. Okay. I was thinking it was something else. I do know who those are. They seem like cool people. But I don't really watch their stuff because Dragon Ball was never my thing exactly. So, either way, I finally got this done, so I'm going to go to bed because I have work tomorrow. Have a good night, guys.